And who, do you ask, is the star of this week's episode?
Judy, bo booty, banana, fana, fo foodie, fee, fi, mo moody. Judy.
What in the actual hell? Welcome to A Tough Act to Follow. I'm Preston, aka the Ploominator, and I will be your secret mermaid here to fill your life with the wonder of the most legendary talents from across the Hollywood seas. And before I get started, I just want to make sure that everyone is getting the full experience of the Ploomination, so be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And check out my Patreon for even more content. Links below. And to give credit where credit is due, I have to thank Yo Robert for the suggestion to look at the long and intrepid career of one Hollywood superstar. Because whether you know her from her work in film, or stage, or television, there's almost certainly no one in the world who hasn't seen something from Jessica Lange. And when you take a good close look at her work, you can see that she's done so much from start to finish in whatever role she occupies. And however large or small that role may be, and however large or small those stakes may be, there is certainly so much power in Jessica Lange's performance that she has cemented herself as a tough act to follow. What is truly mesmerizing about Jessica is her ability to play roles well beyond the usual norms. While many young women in Hollywood are no longer seen as leading ladies or ingenue material after a certain age, Jessica was still playing the attractive and alluring characters well into her 50s. And it's not hard to see why, because she just radiates this ethereal presence in nearly everything that she does. She's almost otherworldly in a way that just comes across, and this happens more and more as her career goes on. There is a presence that Jessica has that goes well beyond the norms and just draws us in over and over again for a multitude of reasons. And it's that allure that has let her play roles well beyond what is typical for the usual Hollywood mold.
I'm spilling everything. The coffee, it's all wrong. Everything is all wrong.
You know, that's some set of rules you had for her.
Yeah, I know.
But as long as you could get away with it, right?
Right.
But she's not all looks and charm either. There is a real fire in there, and she lets that fire come out in very explosive ways. She's not just someone who sits in the background of a scene. When the stakes of a moment are high, they are through the roof. And Jessica lets us see that by just how big she lets herself become in those moments.
I got a new car. Only it's white. Did you know Mama died?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Dad, too. I sold the house. I'm a faceless sinner, Harry.
Why do you say that?
I'd ask you to take me home, but I'm a faceless sinner.
And these big moments are made more powerful by the process Jessica uses to build up to them. She lets the emotional state of her character work like a pressure cooker, building and building up until that moment when everything she's experiencing can no longer be contained. She takes the tension and lets it affect everything she does, even when it's not the height of her emotional state.
Yeah, it's always beautiful this time of day.
No people.
That's for sure.
Where you going?
Wherever.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
And this all gives Jessica a really unique skill. She is super good at playing mental illness. I don't mean in like a stereotypical way, but the ideas of depression, bipolar tendencies, and even mania can all come out in ways that are just compelling and interesting. She's never pushing to the point of a caricature, even though she could. She manages to keep that balance even when things get way too tense or way too out of control.
That is an exceptional woman.
And throughout all of this, there is still this resistance to go to those crazy places. People don't like to be vulnerable, and we often have to fight those impulses. And Jessica excels at this. She's able to keep her emotional state in check while still letting all the big ideas bubble under the surface, and she resists letting all of that out until she can't take the noise anymore.
What's the matter? I don't make you happy. Come on, have a drink. You'll feel better.
Feel better if I didn't have to worry about you screwing around.
I've been good for 2 years.
It's not what it seemed like this afternoon.
And even when there's no moment of explosion, that tension is still there in the form of weight. Jessica's characters carry a lot of baggage from their past, whether that be trauma in relationships, personal history, or even family drama that has lasted far too long.
My girl in the river.
And yet, with that trauma, there is still an elegance and a radiance within that belabored form. She lets the character still have these delicate and tender moments and doesn't make the story all about her when it doesn't need to be. Even if she needs something from the other characters, she understands that sometimes you have to be the one to let that desire go.
I see. I think we ought to get you a plant mister so we can just spray you like a fern.
And this all comes from an acute awareness of her place in the story. Jessica just fits into the role she plays, and it shows how she manages to appear and fit so effortlessly. Because there is so much talent that she shows when it comes to playing these hardship-stricken characters in really honest ways.
Why not? Why shouldn't you influence me? Listen, you wouldn't compromise your feelings like I have. You wouldn't live this kind of lie, would you?
Well, no, I wouldn't, but
Of course not, and you're right. It's just...
But
I deserve something better, you know? I don't have to settle for this. I really don't. It's just that I've always been too lazy or too scared or...
No, why?
Too something.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
What the hell? I'll live, won't I? Maybe not happily, but honestly.
And that's the big takeaway of it all. Jessica is honest in the roles. She's not going in and just goofing around or letting the character become some half-finished version of that character. She takes the roles she's given and she really creates something complete and real within them. And this includes the little moments as well as the big ones.
I mean, at this point in our relationship, there might be an advantage to my wearing pants. Hard part's over, you know? We were already good friends.
Will you loan me that?
Jessica is a talent, and though there are some moments where it may not immediately be apparent, it's clear when you really take the time to look at her work that talent is there in spades. So why do we like Jessica Lange? 1. Jessica is alluring. Jessica has a presence that cannot be avoided, and the more she allows that presence to dominate the screen, the more we get drawn into her and feel compelled to watch her work. 2. Jessica is explosive. When the big moments come, Jessica takes them and makes them earth-shattering. She lets each moment come alive and really jumps off the screen, and even when she's not in the throes of a massive moment, she does the work to make those massive moments real later on. 3. Jessica excels at flaws. From trauma to illness, Jessica knows how to make the characters with the flaws and issues come to life. She never settles for broad stereotypes or half-complete characters, and instead lets those flaws be another part of the character as a whole. 4. Jessica can bear the weight. When these trauma-filled characters have to push through that tension, Jessica lets it get buried but doesn't let it go entirely. Her ability to let the pain come through even as she fights to hide it is a show of deep levels of talent. 5. Jessica is honest. Every character that Jessica touches is played honestly. She lets the roles she takes shine as they come together because she lets them be completely human. The stories she lets these characters tell then become more honest as a result of that humanity. So Jessica Lange has a lot going for her. I mean, she's one of the only actresses to actually beat out Meryl Streep for a part, so she has to have some skills. But then we have to go and see those skills, right? Don't we want to see those? We want to watch every little moment and let the whole performance greet us. So let's start with these few. These are my 5 essential Jessica Lange performances. 1. All That Jazz. Jessica's work in this semi-autobiographical dance show about legendary choreographer Bob Fosse is small, but in no way forgettable. She comes in as this compelling and stunning presence and just captivates with every single moment. 2. Frances. This biopic of tragic Hollywood starlet Frances Farmer is heartbreaking and complex in a way that just can't be believed. Jessica lets all of the damage of Frances come through while still finding these tenderness moments and reality within the role. 3. Blue Sky. One of Jessica's Oscar-winning performances, her role as a troubled but strong-willed army wife is an interesting and unique portrayal of a woman wrestling with the full weight of the military machine from the outside. 4. Big Fish. Jessica's role in this is small, but the heart she brings to it is unavoidable. Every moment she's on screen is one more moment to really see the full depth of her layered and nuanced talents. 5. Tootsie. This cross-dressing comedy was another Oscar-winning role for Jessica. She lets the character showcase the charismatic charm of a TV star and still allows her to have the hardship and struggle of a working mother. All in all, it's a performance that stands out. And that is why Jessica Lange is a tough act to follow. Thank you for watching. Which Jessica Lange movies do you love? Who are some other actors you would love to see? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks again to Yo Robert for the suggestion. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you do, I will do everything I can to get a walk-on role in your favorite soap. Share these videos around as much as you like, I really appreciate it. And check out my Patreon to learn a little more about how I make these and get a fun shout out. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And to ensure you never miss a tough act to follow, one to watch, or welcome to the party, pal, be sure you subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and as I always say, thanks for taking the time to get Ploominated.